afternoon to all of you here. And
It's still morning here. Good morning here.
good morning. Yeah, good morning and good afternoon to people in India, and good morning to the people in Muscat. And today we are here for a webinar on the topic, the tourism scenario in Oman, challenges and solutions. And first of all, I would like to welcome all the participants along with the speaker of the day, Mr. Suprat Mishra. He's the National Manager Inbound Holidays, Bhawan Tourism LLC Muscat. And with me are the colleague of my center, Dr. Desha Das, Dr. Somendra Bishwas, Mr. Swajan, Dr. Swajan, and Mr. Prashant. So we welcome all of you here, and I would now move on to the bit of housekeeping, where I would request all the students to keep the video and audio off so that we can go smoothly without any technical glitches. And over to you, madam, for the welcome.
Thank you, madam, and again, good morning, good afternoon to all of you present here. We are extremely delighted to have with us Mr. Suprat Mishra as a part of the Professional Development Seminar Series of the Industry Institute Cell of IIT Bhubaneswar. Along with me, the faculty members of the center and the students of the center all join in welcoming you, Suprat. You've been a part of the fraternity of IIT since a long time, so it's like old times today.
Yes, ma'am.
I have the pleasure of presenting a very brief profile because your experience, spans a whole lot of achievements. But from out of that, I'd just like to give a small profile for the benefit of the student. Suprat Mishra is a service industry professional with 25 years of experience in academics, tourism, and hospital industry. Has worked in consulting and tourism industry with Lufthansa City Center, Sri Lankan Airlines, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Thomas Cook, and Travelcraft, and also as visiting faculty and trainer to management institutes and specifically in the tourism industry, IITTM as well. At present, as ma'am has already introduced, he is National Manager, Inbound Holidays, Bhawan Tourism LLC Muscat, looking after business development, inbound networking, contract management, and heading profit center management of inbound tourism division. The major job roles that he has handled, and I think this should be of great interest to all students, is he has been heading inbound profit center, business development of inbound business through sales call and marketing by contracting all trade partners, mostly in Europe, representing his organization, roadshows in Europe and India, regular liaising with representative offices in UK, Europe, and China, negotiating contracts with all the hotels in Oman, and regular coordination with all major corporate ministries in Oman. He has also been responsible for developing cruise tourism in Oman ports through major cruise liners. So I think if we are talking about a best practice method, we have a role model in the speaker today because he's going to talk to you about what you generally study in the books. So I think it is going to be a very interesting session. Over to you now, Subrat, to talk to us about how tourism industry is faring in the face of COVID. Thank you very much.
So I would request you to put on your video so that I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I think it is stopped by start my video. Yes, I can start my video.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon. Still, it is morning here, but just 1.5 hours behind Indian Standard Time. Subrat here. Nice. Thank you so much. Thanks for Adesa ma'am, Sarita ma'am, and others, distinguished faculty who invited me for this session. I have been associated with IITTM for quite a long time since my days in India. I was a regular visiting faculty, sharing my experience with the students since 1998, maybe after that. So it's a pleasure again coming back, though it's a very unprecedented and unique situation, I would say. Nobody expected this kind of situation. Even I don't know, my father has seen, maybe he's seeing for the first time. So maybe my grandfather might have seen, since we talk about 1919 Spanish flu. So this is quite unprecedented, and the most badly hit industry is tourism and travel industry. I can share, we started 2020 with a bang. In fact, 2019 was the end of 19. We started getting some good business, as mentioned, ma'am mentioned. We started getting good cruise ship business, and in fact, we got the largest ship came to GCC region, which is known as MSC Bellissima, starting from 25th November. It has got a capacity of 5,000 passenger. And this day, the first day it came here, we organized shore excursion. As you must be knowing, that cruise tourism is basically picking up in all major parts of the world. And Oman hasn't been left for that, because being a unique Arabic nation and the third largest Arabic nation in this region, we have got three important ports: Muscat in the capital city, and one is Salalah, which is in the south of Oman, and one is Khasab, which is north of Oman, is Musandam Peninsula. So quite unique in the nature. So many tourists, many cruise ship vessels, they come here and stay for one, mostly for a day or one overnight. So, as I'm saying, so we started with a bang. And 2020 beginning, India being one of our major MICE source destination, we started with a group of 500 people, from one of the major insurance company. Oman has been considered as a good MICE destination in Indian market for last 5-6 years, as well as a wedding destination also. We have organized various high-end, high-profile, fat destination wedding, you can say, of many big families from India, so it started, and January was, I think in COVID, the coronavirus in one region was diagnosed and detected from December. So we didn't have the impact from January, but again, gradually the impact started in January, February, and in March, it came to a standstill. To give a brief introduction about Oman, before COVID, I would say, Oman being, as I told you, is a third largest country in the Arabian region, in GCC, with total population of 4.65 million, and the total area is 309,000 square kilometer in that way, and it's north to south. It is around 1,065 kilometers, and it is mostly a cultural and natural destination in comparison to the next neighbor, Dubai, which is mostly into skyscrapers, water park, theme park, malls. But here you'll find mostly the beaches, the desert, the mountains. In fact, Oman has got the only only winter the mountain resort, which is above 3,000 meter. The place is called Jabal Akhtar, and next is called Jabal Sham. The two mountain ranges are there, 3,000 meter above the sea level, and so we get varied, different, varied type of tourists to this region. In 2019, the total tourist arrival in terms of leisure tourists around 2.5 million, and it is the total contribution from tourism to the economy is 2.6% of the GDP. As you must be knowing about this region, Oman and like other Arabian nations is mostly oil-driven economy. But of late, since for last 5-6 years, oil has, the price of oil has really gone down. So the economy is trying to diversify. And so there's no other means than tourism, like any other country. So where you have a good landscape, you have culture, you have, the nation is full of, tourist attraction. So definitely the country would like to go for this tourism diversification. So starting, and the tourism, in fact, opened, if you take it the year-wise, it didn't open before 2000. The tourism was restricted before 2000. Only few destinations opened, the visa process was rigorous, and it was selectively given to different nations. The citizen from different nations, rather. But after 2000, government thought about giving a proper direction to tourism industry, and the tourism opened up. Now, if you take into consideration 2019, we have, though in comparison to India and Dubai and other parts, it's less, but it grew. The hotel total key rooms, it's around 25,000 room keys are here, with around say uh, 300, 400 odd hotels throughout Oman. Though it is in comparison, Dubai is very less. Dubai has got almost 750 hotels till 2018-19, and the next, keeping in view, the many hotels have come up. Though the situation is really bad now, unfortunately. But keeping in view, the Dubai Expo 2020 was supposed to happen, now shifted to 2021. They wanted to start in a very grand way. So many hotels have come up now in Dubai region. So in Oman, so the that way, since till 2019, there's a good growth in terms of hotel rooms opened up, and new hotel international chains, they started their operation. So in 2019, almost 30 new hotels opened in different ranges, starting from 5-star deluxe resort, beach resort, to 3-star commercial hotels. So this is the situation now. So as an inbound destination, till March, till end of March, though the COVID was starting slowly, gradually increasing during that period, uh, we got our tourists till maybe the end of March, you can say. Then till the airport was completely closed and flights stopped operation. So now it's a situation where everybody is thinking about how, because the total loss is huge in terms of the world economy. If you take the statistics of UNWTO, the total loss, the total tourist arrival would be less by 60 to 80%. The total export will be, the loss will be around 1.1 trillion US dollar. In that way, some 100 million odd jobs will be lost. It's happening. It is impacting the whole industry globally. It was affecting. Rather, I could say that 2 days back, it was, and today also, it is very nice to hear that Europe has opened up. Various monuments of Europe has opened up. So it is a good sign for us, because this is the summer tourism in Europe. And now they have started opening their monuments. Even I saw Vatican opened up. The monuments in France opened up. In Italy, it's all opened up now. Yesterday, after a long time, Brussels Airlines and Austrian Airlines, today they have started operation. Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport has opened up now. The flights have started operating. Though from GCC region, Emirates started its operation maybe 2-3 weeks back. So there are regular flights to Europe and UK, where the airports have opened up and accepting tourists. I'm not talking the regular scheduled flights. I'm not talking about the Vande Mataram repatriation flights. Of course, government is helping each other to repatriate the citizens to stock up. And in fact, from Oman, there are 2 flights to Bhubaneswar. In fact, one on 3rd June, one on 17th June, with 170 passengers. So people were repatriated in that way. So but still we're waiting for the airports to open up completely. Like Muscat Airport, Oman Airports Management Company, they have just started thinking to open the airport by say 7th of July. So most scheduled flights will be operating to GCC and other parts of Europe, where the flights are allowed to fly. So these are the things we're waiting. So, but various process, the total paradigm of travel and tourism industry will be changed. The process will be changed. When maybe in 2019 we're talking about allowing 4 persons in a SUV vehicle, now it might be to 2 persons. So those SOPs, those standard operating procedure, have to be regulated. So we have, in fact, we have the Central Committee, COVID Committee of Oman as a nation, where various ministries, including Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Health, They have provided the views, how the hotels are going to be operating, what kind of norms to be taken, how the airport should be uh, sanitized completely, where the diffuser will be there to disinfect the passengers who are entering into check-in process. Hand sanitizer will be provided. Everybody will be provided with face masks. So SOPs are being designed by different organizations. So similarly, Oman will also gear up for accepting tourists once the flights are regular um, from Oman as well as all parts of the world. In terms of business, in my company, basically the total business is air travel driven, you can say. So 80% of our total business is from air travel, air ticketing rather. So you can imagine if the day one, from the day like from 24th of March or 25th of March, the flight stopped operating. You can imagine the impact on the total business volume. So it is zero. It has come to maybe besides a few, domestic hotels which are catering to the local corporate, which have been tied up. Other than that, the total business is zero. Completely has come to a standstill. And maybe since I'll talk about a few things about my company. So Bhavan Tourism is a part of Suhail Bhavan Group. It's a flagship company of the Suhail Bhavan Group. It's a conglomerate here. It has got diversified business. So Suhail Bhavan Group is into healthcare, into electronics, into project and telecom, into construction, etc. So Bhavan Travels and Tourism is a flagship company of this group, and we have a total staff strength until 2019. Of course, it is 230 nowadays. It has come down to almost 180 because of the scenario. And we have got six different divisions in the travel and tourism. We are into corporate travel, which is air travel, one division, the inbound holidays, outbound holidays, the car rental, and the GSA, as well as the ancillary service, the ministries and other government association. So we have got our in-house vehicles, almost 400 odd vehicles we are having, and we have got two dedicated counters at the airport, catering a 24 hours counter, catering to the requirement of the tourist arriving at the airport. So there's a rent-a-car counter. So mostly in Oman, the requirement and the leisure tourists, they like to go for a self-drive, always. Because the roads are really good, the landscape is good. So they take a vehicle, hire a vehicle, go for a self-drive. It's called fly and drive. They come maybe for 4 5 days, they take a vehicle, go to different areas, landscape, then again come to the airport, drop the vehicle. So we cater to the requirement, right? We give them a vehicle for rent for the days, number of days, we book their hotel. So likewise. So similarly, we have got in-house guides and drivers. We have various language speaking guides. Like every year, I normally select different language because we cater to different language markets. So we have specialized guides, German speaking guides, Italian speaking guides, French speaking guides, Spanish speaking guides, Russian speaking guide. So I had them from different. I normally look for local guides. If I don't have availability of local guides, then hire from different other part of the world. Like we always prefer for multilingual speaking guides. Those who come from say Tunisia, from Morocco, from India. So all these places we had these guides on a short-term basis, and they cater to our requirements for the normal tourist as well as for the cruise tourism. Cruise tourism, the most important thing when you win a bid, they normally check how many guides, language speaking guides or own guides, English speaking guides you're having in your company, besides other criteria. This is one of the criteria. So basically we have those in-house guides and drivers. So that's part of inbound. Then we have the outbound holidays. Outbound holidays, basically those go outside of Oman and go to different parts of the world. And we are also the GSA of online carriers like Saudi Airlines, Biman Bangladesh. So this is our total group strength in terms of travel and tourism. And now, as you know, this in the scenario, the organization expect us to be multi-skilled. So maybe this is the requirement. This will be the requirement in future. Many organizations would be requiring team members, staff, managers who have got knowledge about uh, components of tourism. So that is will be one of the requirements, and of course, a lot of changes will be there. Like the technology would be the travel and tourism would be mostly technology driven, like other service industry. So the artificial intelligence will also be part of that process. So maybe you will see most of the things being driven by artificial intelligence. Like people are talking about the service delivery of restaurants to be managed by the drones. So maybe similar things should happen for other services where it will be touchless. So now we're talking about when we're thinking about preparing a standard operating procedure for my office, where when we think that the flights will be operating, airport will be open, office will start operation, then we're talking about the standard operating procedure. So mostly it will be at that time touchless. So maybe many customers would not like to come to the office door for a ticket delivery or any other services delivery. So we're thinking about, like I just said, we're talking about the self-drive vehicles. So normally we deliver the vehicles to the client either at the airport or maybe sometime in the hotel. So the rental agreement, we're thinking about a e-related agreement rather than a paper rental agreement. So this is a process, basically why this rental agreement is required. Maybe you must be knowing when, in India, the same. So we normally take a signature and the guarantee of a credit card when the client comes. And in terms of the rental agreement, is the starting kilometer. So this is the condition of the vehicle. And now you will be moving. So, and we take a credit card guarantee, because though they pay for the daily rental, there are different other factors which are involved. Like there might be a fine here, exactly. The roads are well laid, so people normally drive in a good speed. The normal speed allowed in the in a good road, you can say the highway, it is 120 kilometers per hour. So, and there is a 20-kilometer cushion also. Like you can drive between 120 kilometer to 139 kilometer speed. And you overspeed, there are radars everywhere, and cameras. So you will be caught and they'll be fined. So you don't, and then fine comes later on. So when you do a rental agreement, that means we take a vouch from the client that if there'll be any fine or any penalty, will be debiting to his credit card. So that is called rental agreement. So now we are talking about a touchless, paperless rental agreement. So we have to see what are the process to be involved there and how the customers are going to react to that process. So similarly, when you're talking about, allowing people to our office, the time over, like.
No, sir, you can go on. No issues, sir. We have time. We can, yeah, you can go on.
Okay. So we're talking about, maybe in at an airport counter, now the airport authority has already informed us to have kind of glass barricades. You must have seen, if you see the news, most of the airports which have opened up now, like the Paris airport, Brussels airport, Austrian airport, they're putting a glass or a, sort of, or, fiber barricade between the person who is catering to the client and the clients. Similarly, we're thinking about putting a glass, barrier between at our airport counter as well as in our office. So that maximum precaution will be taken when clients come inside. The other standard operating procedure will be appointing. We've thought of, like I saw today in the UK, many malls have opened up. That talking about social distancing ambassadors. So similar way, we already started. Initially we thought to call them as health wardens, but subsequently we thought of calling them as travel safe partners. So in our office, in our head office, our branch offices, at airport counters, at GSA counters, everywhere we're planning to have already appointed travel safe partners. So we will be basically guiding the clients as well as the internal team in terms of social distancing, in terms of practicing health protocol, wearing a mask, if required, maybe they will guide the housekeeping people to clean all the important, touch base points like, the door handles, the tables, chairs, intermittently. So this kind of steps should be taken. So we're thinking of maybe meeting our clients, not many, maybe one person will be meeting them. We get a lot of suppliers and vendors to come to our office to meet us as we prepare contract for the next year. We'll be meeting them, maybe keeping in with the social distancing norms. So those kind of guidelines will be taken. Similarly, hotels have thought about, like many of the hotels who have requested them to send us their standard operating procedure or safety protocols along with video. But those will be required, to be circulated among the guests, our tour partners in Europe, so that they will have a confidence to coming to the destination. We're thinking of sanitizing our vehicles with a diffuser. Maybe we'll put an electronic diffuser inside, or maybe we'll start when starting the vehicle, we'll be diffusing the disinfectant inside the vehicle, and there'll be a safety protocol, and as well as the capacity of the vehicles will be reduced. We're thinking of a 25-seat coaster, which is to carry 25-seat people. Now we're thinking of putting it as 12 or 13 people. Maybe we'll put them in a zigzag fashion, so that if the guests are from different family, so a social distancing will be maintained. Similarly, a big coach will have a 40-50% capacity. So those kinds of things have to be adhered to. So till maybe the World Health Organization or different nations decide, or feel that there's no more infection by the virus. So many authorities have their own views. So still nations are waiting for the proper vaccine to come. So there'll be different process completely, till we get the vaccine. And so everybody has to adhere to the norms and regulations, etc. So, I said that tourism industry is completely gone. No, it's not like that. So we are the professional. We have to think about how to, how to get more skill. This is the right time. If you are getting time, get yourself skilled, get yourself trained. There are various online, besides IITTM guiding of different online, maybe you start learning yourself languages, about techniques, about social media practicing, about digital platforms like that. Those will help you in when you'll come to the real field, and maybe the total process. Because keeping in view the present scenario, the future will think about how to gear up if this similar scenario would be coming, in future. So maybe we have, as I told you, we have to be multi-skilled. We have to know what are the process, the technology, because the industry, tourism, travel industry, like any other industry, will be mostly technology driven now. So we have to gear up. So the manual things might be completely vanished from the platform. So Oman will not be left out for this. So this will, we'll have the same process to be followed. If you go to maybe my Facebook, and we have various social media posting, you can see we have posted the latest process to be followed by Oman Airport Management. You can go to my Facebook page, and you can see the Bhavan Travel Agency. You can like the page. I can get different details about the process. We are also in the Instagram, and you can follow and get details about the process, the SOPs, the product updates. We are going to practice during this period and post-COVID also. So that's all from my side. I think I have described everything. So if any questions, you can come out and let me know. I'd love to answer those questions.
The participants could, I think, put a message in my chat box, or could request raise their hands. Yeah, if they raise their hands, I'll unmute them. So anybody, I think, in the chat. Oh, yes, Ashika, you are there? Ashika, I have unmuted you. Can you just put a question? they have understood it so clearly, so they're not having any more questions. So that's
Anything you can always write to me. I
yeah.
have
They
my,
can mail you or maybe
yeah.
even
Yeah, you can write to me at subrat 08may@gmail.com. That's my personal ID. SUBRAT 08 MAY 08 MAY 08 May at gmail.com.
Bhajan has a question. Yeah, so I would. There's a question from one of our faculty member.
Yeah.
So I would request him.
Yeah, Mr. Subrat, good morning. This is Dr.
Good
Sohan
morning.
here from IIT team.
Yes.
I've been listening your speech. It's wonderful. I
Thank
have
you, sir.
a few questions to you. So,
Sure.
as you're in service industry, COVID has taught us many lessons.
Yeah.
In a professional point of view, what lessons you have learned, and what is the message you are going to tell the students? And second thing is, now the system is completely, we have to start from the beginning, the tourism industry. So we need to develop right from the root level. We need to have a USP for our products. So what kind of USP will be the best sellable USP in terms of tourism for the future business?
Yeah, as I told sir, where the total industry will be changing, post COVID. So the total the operating procedure, the technology will be mostly COVID driven, you can say, till we have got a permanent solution for that. Like as an industry professional, definitely, the problem we faced during this was humongous in terms of losing our team members. We have various teams who are on a follow, long leave, and maybe post this, and we're thinking of like how to, because there'll be a lot of restriction and changing of guidelines. As I told you that we hire normally guides from outside, so what are the risks? I don't know. Like all our costing, everything depends on our in-house team guides. So I don't know what kind of situation will be there, whether I'll be able to hiring these guides from Tunisia or from India or from outside. So, and whether I'll be depending on the freelance guides, then complete rate structure of my products will be changed. So keeping, and again, as I told you, the standard operating procedure of occupancy of a vehicle, in that way, the flight or that, so everything will be changed. So keeping in the scenario, we'll have to think how to redesign our products, how to redesign our packages with by keeping the social distancing, as well as the touchless scheme where people will not be scared to come or traveling. So all these things you have to think. And mostly, as I said, it will be mostly technology driven in that way. So maybe the technology partners we're relying with will be depending on them what kind of, because just end of 19 and 2020 the total IATA BSP structure was planned to change. Now it will be a new concept has come up, you must be knowing, it's called NDC, the new distribution capability. So maybe many airlines that it was thought would not be partner of the BSP platform in that IATA platform. So this NDC will be, the more kind of products and features of the suppliers would be given a direct access to the clients or to the agents. So those in that scenario will be, discussing and thinking how to change, how to adapt to the future post-pandemic situation.
Wonderful.
And as I said also,
I can foresee the enthusiasm in you, and I wish you good luck. Be safe.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks
And,
everybody, and
we
we'll be in
have
touch.
a participant has raised a question. So it's
Sure.
from Ashwin. He wants to know why is that the number of tourists in UAE more than in comparatively, Oman. Why is that? What is the reason behind it?
Yeah, the UAE, as I told you, the number of hotels and the rate structure, the rate mechanism in UAE in that way is more flexible than Oman. So UAE has come to a mass tourism model where Oman hasn't come to yet, is still as an exotic destination. So, so different other mechanism takes part in terms of deciding the rate structure as well as, in UAE and Oman. So, say for example, in UAE, the labor market is more open than Oman. So having people, skilled people, would cost less in UAE than in Oman. So your overhead cost is more in Oman. So the end cost will be more. I'm talking about pre-COVID scenario. So maybe in post-COVID, there might be a lot of changes. That's the reason, the number of tourists arriving in where it is around, say, 11 million in UAE, it is 2.5 billion in Oman. The agenda was to increase it to 5 billion by 2040. But now the total structure will be changed. The many hotels have shut down in UAE, and also few hotels have shut down in Oman.
Now I think there are no more questions.
Hope I'm,
Yeah, it's clear, and he has written that he has agreed to what you have said. So with this, we come to an end, and before we get over and end the session, I would request Dr. Somendra Bishwas here to give the vote of thanks. So please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Subrat Mishra.
Yes, Dr. Vishwas, good afternoon.
Seeing you after a long silence, it's a great pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Same here, sir.
I know you very much. You are the,
Yes, sir.
You are the very experienced tourism professionals, having more than 25 years of experiences. I know you very well. You are working in the Sri Lankan Airlines, Lufthansa,
Yes, sir.
and in many tourism industries. So
Yes,
we are definitely humbled to get you today, such a eminent speaker. Definitely we all faculty members and our students have enriched with your messages, and such experienced people. We are very much thankful to you, sir, and hope we'll see you soon, and whenever you will come in India, and I am sure that you will come to meet us in IITTM.
Of course, sir, that's my hometown, and yes,
you are also very much part with the IITTM. You are the guest faculties of the IITTM. Our old students, they know you very well. So thank you very much, Mr. Subrat Mishra. I would like to thank to our senior faculty members, Dr. Adhasa Das, Mr. Sarita Pradhan, Dr. Sajan, Mr. Prasant. I would like to thank to our technical experts, Dev, Veda Babu, and of course, thanks to all the participants, to all our dear students. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good day.
Thank you, sir. So we are signing off.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm leaving the meeting, so we'll be in touch in future. Thank you.
Be safe and take care, sir. And to all our
You too, all of you, stay safe, take care.